I had a thought while cleaning my vacuum cleaner this afternoon that if your vacuum cleaner has so much hair that you can actually make a wig out of it, then that means it's a shame that your vacuum cleaner is now more stylish than you are. And also that you probably have a lot of pets. Taking extreme ownership to the extreme. Let's begin inside the box, okay? Ow, my fingers. Navy SEAL started extreme ownership. If the team did anything, the leader is meant to kind of take some kind of responsibility for it. Then when it moved to business, applying it to a team in a corporate office that we're all working on the same thing, sure. In the final evolution of extreme ownership, I feel like there's been some things that got a little misplaced, I will say that. It's become something more of a self-blame and also a emphasis on who has better locus of control. And locus of control is basically stating that how much you feel like you can control your life. Scientists kind of did studies on this and they're like, oh, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter much whether or not you have a high locus of control or a low locus of control. It's just how you perceive your life. For the first example, let's assume that you are late for work. You will basically blame no one other than yourself because, well, you should have planned ahead of time. If there was traffic, you should have known. You should have went like maybe 15 minutes early. Let's move on to the second example. The second example is, let's say I was on the street and someone decided to just smack me across the face. I don't know, just thought I had a very smackable face. And it would be assumed that it's my fault because I did not assess my surroundings enough. With those two examples out of the way, let me discuss how extreme ownership does not work for an individual in society. Because where it originated from, an isolated team basically, that had a united front, you can't really apply that to an individual in a society of people that have very unpredictable actions and also don't really all work together for the same thing. Interestingly enough, you can look at how extreme ownership is kind of a rebuttal against perceived mass victimization in society. So anyone who complains about their life not being good enough and taking it out as a blame on others, extreme ownership is kind of like a counteract against that. When you think about it, if you're someone that fully believes in extreme ownership, that means that you have belief that you have total control over your own life and that you deserve everything that you have in your own life. That most likely leads to self-entitlement, by the way. But you would also believe that no one really has an impact on your life too. Because if you have full control over the consequences of your life, then why should anyone's other actions matter to you? Why would you ever bother shaming people that are complaining about things? Because literally, it wouldn't affect you. There's also an interesting addition to extreme ownership where it's like you deserve all the outcomes that happen because of your actions. You knew what they would be. You had an idea of what negative instances can happen from your actions. So you deserve them all. Based on societal issues, I don't believe you can apply that to everything. Before it becomes like, oh hey, you know, this issue, you're like categorized because of society of this, and like, you know, it's an issue that affects specifically your category, but you know, it'll be best if you just weren't that category. And then it's like, well, what do you do then? So most people have some kind of line to like just drag across before it becomes something that they think is immoral. To add on with the element of self-entitlement from extreme ownership, to fully adopt extreme ownership, you kind of have to shrug off any kind of help from anyone really, right? Because if you do, that means that you're consciously asking someone to take a shared responsibility of your life. no team work for you. You have to be a solo lone wolf for the rest of your life because, you know, you don't really deserve the lowly work of other people to affect your life. You know, you can only trust that you yourself will do the best work that you can ever achieve. And also, I mean, there's also an element of that where it's like people that don't even recognize the work that other people do for them. So there's that too, but that's a separate issue. Basically, I've noticed that there's these seeds of thought that are there and easily can be reformatted to fit in with this kind of thinking for virtually everything, actually. For my upcoming video, I have two ideas. I have A, my roller backpack massacre, and also B, my speech and debate failures. And I'll choose between those two. No. But yeah, so stick around for my, I guess, channel if you want to watch that.